Well, hello. Thank you for coming and joining me. I've just been hanging around the internet here waiting for someone to press play so I can get active and stretch my shoulders and most importantly have a bit of a talk to you. So I appreciate you dropping in. My name's Peter. What's yours? I hope you just didn't answer that question. I mean, I really need you to put some comments in the subscribe section in order for me to know who you are. But who you are and what you're involved in is important to me. Now, you probably already noticed that this is not your average normal sort of video coming through. That's because I'm not sort of average normal, that sort of category either. What I'm looking to do is help you in particular in the commercial property and business section of life. I am a commercial realtor and I am also a business broker. So I work in helping people buy and sell commercial properties, industrial sheds, retail shops, premises, development land, the whole kit and caboodle, as well as all types of businesses. Today I was out seeing some of my automotive clients, which is why you'll see me in more sort of drill sort of workwear rather than shirt and tie. So that's just because I'm a working guy and I dress according to serve my customers. What is important to me, however, is what I can organise for you. There's a lot of experience that I have, both as a realtor and also there's decades of experience being involved in business, buying them, selling them, setting them up, anything to do with organising profits and losses and helping people, both in the for-profit sector, the government sector, and also the non-government non-profit sector. This is the first video in the series. It's really just to introduce myself to you, to let you know where I come from. I've also got extensive time at university. I have a degree in business and a master's in leadership. And whilst in our country we don't look too highly upon those things, it does give me an extensive amount of knowledge. And putting that all together, it puts a lot of stuff in my head which I'm really wanting to share out with people. So it's like, bang, it's just that moment when you want to pop it out and help others, especially my clients who often ask me questions that can help them. But what this video and what I'm doing is I'm not here to encourage you to go into buying commercial property. I'm not here into motivating you. It's not a rah-rah session. I'm really looking at three types of people. There's a type of person who has probably been looking for property for 6 months or so and hasn't been able to find it. There's the person who may have one property and or business and is just thinking it's not all the dreams that were meant to be. Or there's a sophisticated investor who has a few commercial assets and what they're at the stage now that they're just not working well cohesively, and you're starting to have a rethink of your whole strategy to work through. The other things that I'm looking at is where the difference is that I can help you is you can talk with others who have bought commercial property, and that's good. You need to have a look at that. Or you can work with someone who's been in commercial real estate. So all I do all day, every day is sell commercial properties and businesses, buying and selling, helping people. So it doesn't take long for you to realise the volume of activity that I've done, the skills and experience and learning that I've had is going to be quite extensive compared to other avenues. The reason I'm doing this is I remember reading once that there's a stage that people have three areas of their life or three phases. The first phase is when you acquire education. Quite often that'll involve going to school, university, high school, trade schools, graduate school, that sort of type aspect. It's all about acquiring knowledge. The second phase of your life is going to be in regards to acquiring assets, and that's probably where you're at now in regards to buying your first house, buying cars, having a family, a wife or a husband and a couple of kids, although I'm not sure if they're assets, depending on what day of the week it is. You've also got a lot of toys in that sort of category. Then the third phase of life is when you want to give back to people. And giving back to people for me is important. And I'm at that cusp of between the second and third. I don't think life is as simple as a straight black line. It's very grey. So you sort of oscillate between sections and run along those lines. I've just got some notes here because this is new to me, just as it is to you. So I want to make sure we've got it organised. One of the things that I will be doing is sharing with you all the learnings that I've had over the decades of working in various businesses and various spaces. And I've captured a lot of that in what I call books of knowledge. And I've got one here. I don't know how that works. You can probably see my chook scratch. It goes through there, and there's a mountain of material that I have. In my cupboard over there, there's another 2 books, all very much the same. And I'll be delving through those sort of material and pulling out the bits and pieces that I think are relevant to yourself in building your asset base and your commercial property that you're looking for. It's important to me to understand what it is that you want to have. I have very much a customer service ethos in my business. So please take a couple of minutes and write me a comment on the types of questions that you may have, the things that you'd like to have a look at, and we can work along that sort of space to go in there for you. I'll drop a comment in the intro to this video showing future videos that are coming up, so you have a rough idea. Some of the things that we're going to go through, we'll talk with some lawyers about like the Environmental Management Register and the Contamination Land Register, what it means, is it a problem, is it not a problem, what can you do to get off it. We'll talk with some of the accountants to discuss things like GST and capital gains, areas like if you're buying a freehold business and it doesn't have a lease between the business and the property, is that still considered a going concern, or are you going to pay GST? Whilst there's lots of differentiation between clients, there are some general concepts that'll help you understand what's going on. And this is a key part that we want to do. It's very much operational knowledge. So when you're out there looking for it, you've already got the credibility that buyers and sellers and realtors are looking for when people ring up. It's very difficult for a realtor to work with someone who's very much a babe in the woods. Time is money, and it's like anything in life. If you spend 5-6 hours helping someone and you know that there's not going to be a return on it, you got to make sure that you balance it up with focusing your time elsewhere. So my purpose is to get you on a stage where you can talk with professionalism, have knowledge, ask the right questions. You're not going to know everything. There's always going to be surprises, but I'll get you from that category where you're starting to be treated with respect, and that is half the way of getting it through there for you. Other videos that we look for, we'll talk about valuations, different valuation methods. We'll probably do a tour of a couple of buildings, help you to understand what to look for. And if you can't inspect a building, how to organise another set of eyes, be it a video presentation to walk through, whether you what to look for in photos, sending someone else to have a look at it, building and pest inspections, how you can give them instructions to look for particular areas. That's because increasingly so a lot of my work is people who aren't in the region. I work in the Bundaberg region, which is, think Bundaberg rum, Bundaberg sugar, Bundaberg brewed drinks, turtles nesting. It's a wonderful place to be living. And I also service Gladstone. Gladstone's very much smelters and heavy industrial, down to Harvey Bay, which is a lot more retail, wholesale, light manufacturing, Maryborough as well included in there with train manufacturing. So I run through the whole gambit of material, and I'll be bringing all those elements in. I recognise that not everything's going to be suitable for you, but if you're in one of those 3 categories of people, I think you'll find benefit as we go in that aspect. Now, I'm appreciating that time is money, and that you have other things that we need to work on. I'll give you one nugget that will demonstrate the type of thinking that I want you to have a look at in future. Some people will have a look at their commercial assets, similar to like a deck of cards. And you can have a look. I've got a 4 an ace. Right, so we got 2 of clubs, 2 of diamonds, another 2 of diamonds. So straight away you're thinking, what sort of person keeps a deck of cards on their desk? But let's not go back into my childhood and upbringing. That's a whole different story. Some people will look at these as 5 cards. Other people will look at this and say, wow, that's a 3 of a kind. I can make money out of that in poker. I have a history of playing poker and blackjack and a few other games of money back in my youth. But for commercial people, that's the 2 levels. I want you, and this is what the main point is I'm trying to put across, to think of your commercial properties or your commercial assets as a business. It's not a group of independent assets that bring in a little bit of money. So it's a lot like a factory. A factory may have computers, it may have photocopiers, it may have lathes, it may have CNC machines, it may have welders. Each one of those items may bring in a certain amount of income. But it's only when you look at that factory as a business that you suddenly realize that you can make a car, which will make you a lot more money than the individual components. And that is the thinking that I want to do with you over the next period, over the videos that we have, having a look and a think about running your property portfolio, your commercial assets as a business. So that's sort of like a pow. Is that a moment for you to sit back and say, wow, that's something very different. I don't think others have thought about that, and it's the type of different thinking I'm having. I mentioned that a lot of other people will do videos and spend a lot of time explaining how good they are, what they've done, etc., etc. I'm not much into that. But the 2 things that you will find out quickly from me if you talk with others is, one, I have a sense of humour. Sorry if I've offended people. I probably generally will, but that's just the way that I am. Secondly, you're looking at someone who thinks differently. And if you're in a position with your commercial properties and it's not doing what you want to do and your businesses aren't doing what you want to do, then perhaps a little bit of different thinking is what's going to work well for you. All right, so I've got some homework for you. Yes, this is not a series of theory of videos like that. I've got 2 things I want you to do to work with. One is get yourself a blank book of knowledge. We're not here to talk to you and then you pick up another video and you've forgotten everything that we've spoken about and that you've listened about. I want you to write, grab one of those books. It can be a notepad, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just something kinesthetic. Your brain will process more if you write something down because kinesthetic being touch, you're using more of your senses. So, just mark it as video 1, running your commercial assets as a business. Now, your homework is, what does that mean to you? Is that a new term for you? I want you to mull over that. How are you currently structured? Are you structured as a commercial business with your assets? Is that the strategy that you were looking for as you purchased your first one? Once you have a plan or a strategy, you'll find your decisions become a lot easier and a lot quicker. And that's what I want you to do. So for this week, sit down, have a think about what it means to you to have a commercial asset business to work with. My commitment to you is to get one of these videos out every Tuesday, probably Tuesday morning. So that's Queensland time. If you're in other areas of Australia, well, then you've got different time zones. Australia's a wonderful country with 4 different time zones, so it's a good luck in working that out. If you're overseas, look, I encourage you to keep watching as well, because a lot of the concepts that I have here are applicable in Europe. They're applicable in Africa. They're applicable in South America, North America, and Europe. I'm not so much sure about the Arab areas. I'm not familiar enough in that sort of space. But sometimes you will find that a different way of thinking is where innovation comes from. You get entrepreneurs will create things. Innovators will find an idea in a country like Australia and apply it overseas, and vice versa. So it's very much a series of videos that I want to do, which are focused on in Queensland and Australia, but you can definitely use it around the country to go as you go. So I'm probably going to go back into my relaxed pose on YouTube or wherever it is you found me, and wait for you to come back next Tuesday. It's really important that you do share information that I have with you. Subscribe, do all those sharing information. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here for another week until you come along, and that's pretty sad. So, thanks very much for joining me. Take care and God bless.